So today we're going to talk about canning meat, specifically cold packing chicken. So I have a cluck ton of chicken in here, in this magnificent clear box behind me. And we are going to cube it, because we're big on cubism here at the Crouch Ranch. I went over most of your heads, but that's okay. The few of you that got it chuckled. So, let's cube some chicken, shall we? So these chicken breasts are off the birds that we processed yesterday, that we raised, and then Mike parted them out after we processed them yesterday. So I'm going to cube these up, and we're going to use these to make some pressure canned chicken. So we're going to cube this up as best as you can, an item that isn't square. This is a great way to preserve your meat if you are maybe shy of freezer space, or you're just wanting to do enough birds for your family. This is a great way to preserve them so that you have easy access to them all year long until it's time to do birds again. And this will free up your freezer space, because a lot of times that's very coveted real estate, especially if you're a hunter or a fisherman that is constantly having fresh game added to their freezers. We now have all the chicken prepped to go into the jars. I've got some Ball pint jars here. I like to use Ball, they're made in the USA. The pint size I find are good for us. There's just the three of us, so we don't want the huge ones, because if we're doing a meal at a time, we're not going to use as much. And then I like the wide mouth ones because it's easier to get the chicken in there, and it's easier to get it out once it's cooked. So today we're going to be raw packing this chicken. So I've got my jars all staged behind me here. So you do want to make sure that your jars are clean, but you don't have to sterilize them like you do when you're doing a water bath canning. Okay, so we've got our chicken, we've got our magnet to get our lids up, we've got the O-rings that go on top of the lids to seal, we've got the grabber to grab the jars out later, we've got, of course, the jars, our funnel. I've got my lids in here, ready to go, and I've got a little bit of chicken stock that we're warming up that we did from our last batch of stock that I'm going to add to this. What are men great at? Losing things. And what did Mike do? Mike lost the video that showed the section where we're actually packing the jars. So I'm going to tell you how we did it. Basically, you just need a jar for canning, and one of these handy dandy funnels always helps so that you don't get it all over the sides when you're trying to pack it. And you just put the chicken in there up to about an inch below the rim, which is right at the bottom here where your little thing will go in at the bottom. And that should be about a pound of chicken once you've got it full. So when you cold pack meat, you don't have to add liquid, because as it's being canned, it's cooking the meat, and that's creating liquid. We did add a little bit of our chicken stock to each jar though.
Okay, can you see the steam coming out of this? I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's steam coming out of the vent here. And once that steam starts coming out, then you're going to set yourself a kitchen timer for 10 minutes.
Or you're going to ask your wife to set it, because you just turned the microwave on. You got to hit kitchen timer, honey. Hit stop. Let me talk you through it here.
You're going to hit kitchen timer.
Okay, clear it out first. There you go. There you go.
Kitchen timer.
There you go.
For 10 minutes.
Now you're cooking with gas.
And you're going to let this steam vent for 10 minutes before putting the weight on to increase the pressure. Okay, so once it has been steaming, venting for 10 minutes, then you're going to put the weight on. And this particular model has a graduated weight depending on your elevation. At our elevation, we need to be at 11 pounds, and we have a 10 pound or a 15 pound option. So we're sitting at 15 pounds. Your gauge right here is going to tell you what your PSI is in there, and your weight is going to maintain that PSI. As the PSI tries to increase over 15, this thing's going to rattle, releasing some of that pressure. If your pressure ever drops below 11 psi, you basically have to start your timer over again. Now, we are pressure cooking meat in pint jars, so that's 75 minutes. If it were quart jars, then we'd have to go 90 minutes. So we're doing 75 minutes, and as you can see, we've only got 12 minutes left here on this cook. And then we'll shut her down and let it cool down naturally on its own. You don't really want to relieve the pressure in any way rapidly because you could cause your jars to break or whatever. So we'll just shut it down and let it cool down on its own until the pressure drops to 0. And then we'll open it up and pull the jars out.
Let it cool down.
Let it cool down. Okay, after this thing has come back down to 0 and you've taken the weight off and left the weight off for about 10 minutes, then you can open it up. And we're gonna pull these jars out of here.
Mate.
You'll notice they're still boiling inside the jar. That's kind of cool.
That's science and stuff. And then you'll start hearing them go dink.
Actually, I heard them all do it
Oh, did you?
inside the
Just
thing.
kidding.
They did it while they were still in
Oh, because
here.
they were in there for so long, yeah. Okay, so there you have it. We just canned this meat from raw to cooked. Now it can sit on our shelf for 12 to 24 months, and we can partake of it as we choose. So that's it. That's how you do it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and check the bell so you get the notifications when we post something new.